Hello and welcome to another video, and I've wanted to make this video for a couple days. I made a short on it you can go and watch. This is going to go into a little further detail on it, but I wanted to bring up and talk about the absolute bullshit of Sony raising the prices of PlayStation Plus for seemingly no goddamn reason, other than obviously they want more money, but they're not actually taking the time to explain why they want more money. They're not giving you more value for your money. They're not adding more content. Again, we saw this earlier this year with Game Pass. They raised the price by about $1. Maybe it was $2. I can't remember. It was a very minimal update to their plans. However, here, this is extreme, going anywhere between 30 to 35% across all tiers of PlayStation Plus. So we're gonna go ahead and we'll dive in. I pulled it up here on IGN. I want to go over it and then obviously share my thoughts on this fucking bullshit. Alright, so as you can see, Sony raises price of PlayStation Plus 12-month subscriptions across all tiers. Sony has announced plans to raise the price of all its PlayStation Plus 12-month subscriptions globally across all tiers starting September 6th, which means in a few days here from the posting of this video, Sony will increase the price for 12 months of PlayStation Plus Essential, PlayStation Plus Extra, which is like the middle tier that's kind of like their version of Game Pass. It's just honestly not as good. And then PlayStation Plus Premium, which is again kind of their Game Pass, except they add PlayStation Classics to it. So the new prices are as follows. For PlayStation Plus Essential, so if you want to play games online with your friends that play on PlayStation, you have to shell out now, instead of $60, $80 fucking dollars a year for the privilege to play online. So think about that. You're paying for your internet and then that $80 a year for the privilege to play on the wonderful PlayStation Network. Then also, if you want the PlayStation Plus Extra, which is their version of Game Pass, it has PlayStation, what does it have? PlayStation 4, some PlayStation 5 games. They have gotten, I will give them credit, and we'll talk about it in a minute, but they have gotten some games day one. But that is going from, what is it here? Currently, it was $99 a year. It is going to $134.99 a year, so a $35 increase. And then the big one here, PlayStation Plus Premium, is going from $119.99 to $160 a year. Out fucking rageous. And the reason for it, and I'll keep in mind, they shoved this in a PlayStation blog, and I'll show you guys in a moment here, but they put at the very bottom here, the price adjustment will enable us to continue to bring high quality games and value added benefits to your PlayStation Plus subscription service. They announced this on top of, and I'll show it here because I think it's absolutely fucking hilarious, that the games they show here they announced this at the bottom of this with Saints Row, a game that was critically panned and commercially panned. People didn't fucking buy this game. The studio just shut down. Literally 2 days ago, as the recording of this video, this studio shut down. Volition. I can go on and on. If you want to see a full in-depth review of Saints Row 2022, the worst game that came out last year, you can watch my video, and the game fucking sucks. But hey, we're going to give that one out to you for free with this, increase. You get Black Desert, which is a MMO, a PS4 game. And then another very lowly rated PS4 game, Generation Zero, which they shit that out onto Game Pass a while ago as well. It's a bad game as well. So 3 bad games this month. Give us 30% more though, right? And then here, they dig it right here. New pricing changes, and here it is. Obviously, we just talked about it, but they dig it at the very bottom here. Here we go. We also want to let you know starting September 6th, and they go through it. And again, the throwaway line. They're going to continue to gouge you. They're going to continue to do this. Now, here's the important thing to know. Remember back in like January of 2022, Microsoft tried to do this as well. They were going to increase the prices of Xbox Live Gold, and they set that, and it was an absurdly high. It was like more than 30%. It was almost double. If I remember correctly, it was like $120 just to pay to play online for a year, which again, that service doesn't make sense when you have Game Pass, and now obviously they've made those changes, and it's already started. There is no more Xbox Live Gold. That shit's over. Now it is simply, I think, what is it, Game Pass Core, and then you have the other tiers of Game Pass. So again, incredibly smart decision on Microsoft's part, but let's, at the same time, let's point out they did raise their prices as well. They just did it in a better way, in my opinion. Whereas Sony is, once again, we're not in the era of PS4 Sony's your buddy anymore, as people like to still pretend, I guess. There's still there's definitely still this Sony bias out there. I mean, I saw it this past week with the Starfield reviews. Look at the two biggest publications gave that game a 7 out of 10. That's an argument for a different fucking time, but the point remains, there is definitely a Sony bias. But again, do I see Sony cracking down and saying, you know what, we're not going to do this? No, they're totally going full steam ahead. They're ignoring all the hate that they're getting. And I think they fully realize, there are people that are going to drop their tier down to the basic one, or even get rid of it completely. I know a lot of old school gamers and old school YouTuber gamers that are on YouTube. You look at something like My Life in Gaming. I saw the guy post about it specifically. He's like, I'm out. I'm not even I don't play games online. I don't download the Plus games. All I use Plus for is the cloud saves, which I do think it's shitty that Sony ties cloud saves to this service, because Microsoft, it's free. It doesn't matter if you have Game Pass or if you previously had Gold. Cloud saves just work across that technology. That's been like that since the fucking Xbox One. So Sony puts it behind a paywall, which I do think is incredibly shitty. But again, a lot of sentiments out there. People are dropping subscriptions, or they are dropping down to the lowest tier because it's astronomical to do this right now at this time. I mean, we're basically, at least in North America, we're on the verge of another recession, and yet we see all these companies doing this right now. We have this ongoing writer's strike, which I've had people ask me to do a video on the writer's strike, but my opinion is the same as everybody else's, which is pay these people the money and the stuff, pay them what they want, give them the benefits that they need, and let them go create the content that they want to create, instead of just fucking them over with these terrible contracts, these terrible residuals for TV shows, and this fucking Wild West that we're in when it comes to streaming, where there's basically no rules, and you have people like Bob Iger who can just fuck around and it doesn't matter. That dude makes billions upon billions of dollars, and then will make heinous comments like, we're gonna sweat him out because he doesn't want to give up that money. He doesn't want to pay those people more money because he doesn't think they're valuable. These are the types of people and CEOs that need to be ousted from these companies, but it's not going to happen anytime soon. But yeah, I mean, obviously that's my opinion on the writer's strike, and video games might be going there as well. That's definitely another topic for another video as well. I saw recently an article about that. I think it came out last night, that there's a very good chance they may add video game writers to the SAG-AFTRA strike, which is incredibly interesting. If that happens, I will probably do a video on the writer's strike. But for now, that's my opinion on it, and I just threw it in here because, again, the whole point is, America, when it comes to money, is very fucked up right now. And so for these companies, streaming services, and the only reason Sony's doing this, bar none, the only reason Sony is doing this is because they saw Disney, Netflix, Paramount, the people that own Paramount Plus, they recently did it. They're doing price hikes. Disney did it twice in the last year with Disney Plus. They have done a price hike twice in the last year, to the point that I've canceled Disney Plus. I cannot support paying double what I paid a year ago for this service that isn't giving me content I want to watch. I haven't watched any of the latest Marvel shows because I think they're absolute shit. The last thing I watched on there was Mandalorian season 3, which was mediocre, if I'm being honest. Season 1 and 2 of that show was fantastic. Season 3, it's kind of gone off the rails, and it's becoming something that it wasn't. So why would I pay more money for that? You know, I got rid of Netflix a while ago because I shared a plan with somebody, and obviously Netflix decided to step in and say, hey, we're not letting people do that anymore. Even though they fucking championed that shit for like a decade, they decided, no, we need to be greedy. We need to get these people to pay us because we see our numbers going down. And they're going to see that temporary boost in numbers because you do have those people out there that have a real fear of missing out. So you're going to get those people to pay for the subscription, or you're going to have somebody like me that goes, nah, fuck it, homie, I'm out. But I might go back and re-up to watch Castlevania at the end of this month for a month and then bounce out again. Again, I'm getting all over the place on this video. The point I want to get back to here is this PlayStation Plus thing is bullshit. And Sony is only going to the point of doing this because other subscription-based services have done it. And so they think, why can't we? And yes, the internet has been very vocal about saying they don't like this, but Sony's not going to cave. They're going to go through it with whatever they do. For me personally, right now, I did the top tier of PlayStation Plus since it launched because I wanted to see what the service offered. I wanted to compare it to Game Pass, and I'll be honest, I was already looking at knocking it down to the premium one when the next time it renews, which for me is like in April, but I'm just going to knock it down to Essentials because unfortunately, I built quite a pretty decent PlayStation Plus library over the years. I really don't want to lose that. I don't want to lose cloud saves either, but you know, and there are occasional times where I will play a PlayStation 5 game online with a friend, but primarily even myself, I don't really play games online with other people very often. Maybe a Halo Infinite match here and there. So, or I play Diablo, but I'm playing that on Xbox. So yeah, it's a bummer. You know, it's modern gaming, this is the world we live in right now with modern gaming, where we have to be nickel and dimed for every possible thing. Everything has to be monetized. And, you know, the other thing, I didn't make a video on it while I was gone. I'm kind of shouting out all these things in this video that I didn't get to talk about the month that I was on a vacation here from YouTube. But you look at a studio like Larian, who made the excellent, from everything I've read, everything I've seen, Baldur's Gate 3, which I will play. I'm waiting for it to come to Xbox because that's where I kind of want to play the game. That's where I know like I'll actually spend time playing the game. And so I'm waiting for that to come, which will be later this year. And I do have no time to play that game right now, but I commend them for making an actual real fucking video game that doesn't nickel and dime. There's no monetization. It's just buy this game. It's a complete fucking game. It's going to take you forever. And you're probably going to play it 100 times because you love it if you are into that type of game. I commend those people for making a actual, real, full release video game and putting it out when they should. So that is awesome. But to wrap this up, PlayStation Plus increasing their prices, it's fucking garbage. I know you agree with I know that you out there watching this video agree with me. I don't think anybody's going to... I have seen a few Sony diehards defend it. But like, and the defenses I see are like, well, they'll make the servers better. No, they won't, because Sony doesn't care about that. They just want the money. So I'd love to know in the comments below, what do you think? What are you doing about it? Remember, as always, to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And until next time.